Hey Suman, great to have you here.
Hi, Mishaal. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All good, all good. So tell me, how are
Yeah,
we
thank you
going
so much
about
for
it?
doing this live session. We're all excited to have you here. I've been able to quickly introduce you to our viewers, but for those who are joining in right now, I'm sure Suman needs no introduction, but she's a best-selling author, she's a nutritionist, and also the founder of the self-care centers. We're really excited. Dr. Vaidya has been doing these heal at home sessions, and it's really great to have someone on board for one of these. I know everyone's really excited to sort of learn from this. So, like I said, any questions you guys have, feel free to send it, comment it. We'll do our best to come around to them. Quick introduction on the session. We're going to try talking about nutrition, staying fit and healthy during lockdown, and of course, boosting your immunity. I know everyone's been attending a lot of sessions on immunity. A lot of advice on how everyone has an opinion on how you can sort of boost your immunity, what herbs are best for you. We're going to try addressing all those concerns. So, Suman, if you just want to quickly introduce yourself, tell our viewers a little bit about what you do, and then we can get into it.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Suman Agarwal. I'm founder of SelfCare by Suman, or SelfCare, the health design by Suman Agarwal. We have two centers in Mumbai, one in Kolkata, but majorly we are online. We have been consulting people from all over the world since last 18 years, and we do have a software where we maintain the record so that we can consult you from wherever we are. This lockdown has actually not affected us because we all have all our data on our laptops, and we are continuing this way. We have a team of 15 nutritionists, two doctors, and one psychologist, and then we have an online shop which is there on our website, and we are soon coming up with an app where you can use the app to buy products. The product ranges are between snacks, healthy snacks, and vitamins, and books, and other health, anything to do with health we sell on the shop. Then I have written three books, which is Don't Diet, Unchunked, and Super Kids. So fourth book is on the way, and I'm mother of three daughters, and all of them have joined me. My eldest one is the creative director of SelfCare and manages our products online. And my second one is Dr. Juhi Agarwal, who's joined us also as a nutritionist. She's done her course from King's. And my youngest one is the tech person who handles all our software and the tech and the website and everything. So this is all about me, and I'm very excited to answer your questions. But let's hear from Mishaal first.
Great. Thank you so much for the introduction. It's truly amazing the work you guys do. Also, it's great to hear that you haven't been affected too much by lockdown. I think that's really important, especially at a time like this, and we'll come to it. But, I know
Yeah.
everyone's struggling with nutrition, everyone's struggling with sort of following any sort of routine, let alone a diet. So it's great that you
Yeah.
guys continue. It's great to hear that you guys are able to sort of continue consulting with your clients and everything.
Yeah.
So
We are doing
just
everything. Yes. Yes.
great. So just sort of getting into it, easy question to start off with, but I know you guys sort of focus a lot on nutrition. And of course, people have different sort of understanding of what nutrition is, how exactly, what is the best way to sort of stay healthy. Questions about how, nutrition can help with the rest of your life as well. I know Ayurveda talks a lot about the connection between stomach and mind as well. So if you just want to talk a little bit more about what nutritionists do, what you think is the importance of nutrition, especially at a time like this.
Yeah, so especially during times like this, we we need to really take care of our nutrition, our lifestyle. It's very easy to slip into late sleeping mode, late getting up mode, not exercising, finding comfort in food. All that is happening with all our clients. We keep pulling them back on the normal routine. He says, lockdown or no lockdown, you need to take care of your routine and have a quarantine routine or a lockdown routine where you sleep at a certain time. You need to sleep for 8 hours. It's very important for immunity. Actually, immunity gets built on the besides the herbs. This major thing is about sleep and the protein and the meal gaps. So we tell them to sleep for 8 hours, exercise an hour every day. Lockdown does not give you freedom not to exercise and just watch Netflix, which is most of us are doing. Of course, all of us, many of us are working too, but this lockdown has really affected us in a way where we are getting extremely complacent with our lives. So you have to understand that that does not change. Maintain the routine and eat healthy. I'm not saying don't eat comfort food like sometimes chocolate or ice cream or desserts of any kind or alcohol sometimes, but eat what you're supposed to. Like, suppose you are making a building, you can't make a building out of sand, right? It's the same way. Your nutrition every day is important. You can one day very good nutrition, other day just carb meals or too high calorie meals. So maintain your meal gaps. Lunch at 1, evening snacks at 5, dinner at 9. Eat your proteins, fiber, carbs, and fats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's very important to give your body enough macronutrients because that is what actually takes you forward, makes your immunity strong, makes your gut strong, makes your mind work, your body works. It's very, very important. And thirdly, keep your evening snacks either carb or protein. It's you have either. It doesn't matter, but and have a 12-hour fasting instead of 16-hour fasting, which is you finish your dinner at 9, then have straight away breakfast at night. Have anything, even if you are awake till 12 o'clock, maximum just have a glass of some kind of honey, but avoid eating between 9 in the night to 9 in the morning. And exercise preferably is, of course, before breakfast in the morning. Second best time to exercise is between evening snacks and dinner. So maintain that timing, and that's it. And exercise makes you oxygenate your body, which is very, very important for you, gives you more oxygen. And what a time better than now, where the pollution levels are the really low in Mumbai. So it's a very, very good way to exercise, especially outdoors, and get the even vitamin D, because the pollution levels are so low that the right rays, which is UV rays, are able to come to your skin and convert them into D3. So, which is all D3 is a very important vitamin for you, especially to fight COVID. So, if you think your vitamin D is low, then of course you can take a supplement. But of course, exposing yourself, your skin to the sun, especially morning sun, is extremely good for your vitamin D absorption. So, this is about lifestyle and everything. And then now you ask me a question, Mishaal.
Yes, which were
Till we uh, till we
sorry about that. I think having a little
network issues.
interesting actually, and I just want to address some of that before we proceed. Um, First one being fasting. So I know that's a question I have got a couple of times before on these lives. I know a lot of people, a lot of our viewers are very interested in the intermittent fasting concept. So is that something you recommend? Oh, I'll only eat for 1 hour in a day. I won't eat for 23 hours, or I'll only eat sort of this. And just linked to that question, another thing you touched upon was, the importance of balanced meals or a balanced diet. So I know, another question that's very popular is, oh, should I give up carbs? Should I go completely carb free? Should I be eating carbs in the night? Should I be eating carbs in the evening? So just those two questions: intermittent fasting and maybe a keto diet or a carb.
So, intermittent fasting is, of course, not a bad option. It helps you in many ways, of course, decreases your appetite, you lose fat, you lose weight. But if you are prone to infections and if your immunity tends to be low, if you have more instances of getting cold and cough and flu, then you should refrain from doing intermittent fasting because it does sometimes compromise your immunity. So that is my take. But it is okay. So instead of doing 16 hours of intermittent, try to see what it suits your body the best. If 16 hours you do for a week, 10 days, and immunity is intact, and you are not a very, like, you sleep very well and you don't have too much activity in the days, of course, go ahead. But if you are a very active person and you like to exercise a lot, then you need to take a call on that. Then keep trying and say from 12 hours, come to 13 hours, then to 14 hours, see what suits your body. But it's not a bad option. Okay. But especially during the time of COVID, you need to be just little careful about it. Second question you asked about keto. Now the keto diet, like how intermittent is not suitable to everyone, how we go for shopping, correct? Okay, Zara is a great shop and you get great clothes, but you can't buy everything for yourself because the size might not be correct. Same way, intermittent is good, but it's supposed to suit you. Same thing for keto diet. It's not made for everyone, especially people who have history of, or the family history of kidney disease or liver disease. They need to be extremely careful about it. And during COVID time, if you get a flu, your mind is going to race 100 times. Oh my God, do I have COVID? So why would you bring yourself to that level? So even keto, if you do it 100%, you can get a keto flu. Now, you don't know whether that is keto flu or whether that's COVID flu, okay? So all these factors come in between. So I would say during this time, you need to be very careful and choose what path you want to take instead of working your mind, your family, and your own self. Do a basic diet, which is, I said, 12-hour fasting, eating 4 meals, and about the carbs which you asked. It's okay to omit carbs from evening snacks or from dinner. Okay, but then if you omit carbs from dinner, you better sleep within 3 hours. If you are not going to sit and watch Netflix, you're going to be hungry and you're going to go and looking for something in your kitchen. So that's what is very important that you need to take care of. But I would prefer clients, I tell all of my clients to take carbs for breakfast and lunch for sure.
Very interesting. Yeah, no, we hear all sorts of new sort of diets. A lot of people trying out different things, and it's great to sort of hear a little bit about what you think and what just the importance of staying balanced with all of this. Another thing you touched upon, which I just wanted to quickly get to, was the importance of exercise. I know a lot of our one of our products, Herbo Build, is meant as a Ayurvedic muscle supplement, and I know a lot of we highly recommend to everyone who takes it that you need to be exercising. I know
Yes.
that there's a lot of people who think, oh, if I take protein shakes, if I take these muscle gain supplements, I'll just sort of get fitter, healthier without else. But of course, there's really important to sort of exercise along with it as well. And it's great to hear you talk about that. So just to get your opinion on that and what you think, I know right now, especially with everyone staying at home, it's difficult to sort of be like, okay, I'm going to exercise now or to stay motivated. But would love to know what you think about that.
I surprisingly during this lockdown time, I'm never going to go to a class to exercise because I have found so many things online. We have yoga online, we have Bollywood online, we have Pilates online. Everybody's online. Why would I spend half an hour going and coming to an exercise class and expose myself to germs? So according to me, exercise is not by the way, it is the way of life. I have been exercising, like, I'll tell you a short story. Like when I was just 12, I bought Jane Fonda books and I've been exercising out of her books from the age of 12. So I'm like an exercise freak. Every year I do a 100-day challenge where I exercise every day and post every day. So today is my 86th day of exercise where I
Oh,
have exercised every day for 86 days. I have 15 more days to go. So what I'm trying to say is, how can you sit in a room which has not been aired? You need the fresh air, right? The same way, when we exercise, every cell of our body gets oxygen, enforced more amount of oxygen. That is why no matter what you do, exercise has to be as like brushing your teeth. It has to become a religion. It's like, how you have your breakfast, lunch, snacks, dinner. It has to be every day. You cannot escape, especially because we are living in a life where everything is automated. We are not, if 20 years before I was taking at least 5,000 steps on my own without doing any exercise. Now, in today's world, it has come down to less than 1,000. So imagine if you don't exercise at all, how are your muscles and bones are going to get any form of toning? If your bone does not get, if your body does not get this kind of a motion, this is called even walking or jogging or any kind of thing, it will not absorb the calcium. So your bones are going to get porous. Then your joints are not going to be lubricated enough, or like, you know, how you say it's got rusted. That's what is going to happen. So everyone has to exercise every day. It can be 30 minutes to an hour. Don't over exercise, because over exercise will also impact your immunity during COVID. So I tell everyone not to exercise more than 75 minutes at a time. If you want to exercise more, split it up, do in the morning and evening, but not at a time more than 75 minutes. And of course, I would like to try your product too.
No, definitely. We'll definitely get some samples across to you. And, honestly, very inspiring. I saw a few comments also saying truly inspiring that you've been able to work out for 86 days nonstop.
Yeah. Follow
Uh,
me, Suman Agarwal.
yeah.
Every day I've been posting. Oh my God, it's not easy. Trust me.
No, of course, I believe that.
I have to keep my health good. I cannot compromise my health. I have to eat very well, and still and I've lost weight.
No, it's great. Yeah, I think those are things that everyone's sort of struggling with during lockdown. Like you mentioned in the beginning, everyone's sleep schedule is all over the place. Um, but everyone's sort of eating unhealthy, finding less motivation to sort of work out. But it's truly inspiring to hear that you've been able to do all of it, and would love, I'm sure all our viewers would check it out and see how they can do it as well.
This is my little tiny dog. Tell me. So you were also asking me a question on especially the herbal supplements which help your immunity.
Correct.
Do you want me? Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, just getting to that, and I know we have a couple of questions in the comments. Guys, keep asking your questions. We'll get to them, when we can towards the end. Just to get to immunity, now that's obviously the most, pressing issue on everyone's mind right now. It's like number one question that we get: how can I boost my immunity? Or if I drink sort of, this concoction every morning, will I suddenly be immune to COVID? Where I've gotten sort of people WhatsApping me, or like, I've seen people say, oh, take these homeopathy pills 3 times a day, you won't get COVID. It's all sorts of stuff floating around there. Lots of tips on, oh, if you cook with sort of turmeric, if you cook with this herb, this spice, you're going to be completely immune. Just love to know what you think.
Yes. So, Mishaal, Mishaal,
Yeah, can you hear me?
yes, yes. Now I can hear you a little bit.
Okay.
So, shall I answer your question now?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, as you know that everyone is paranoid about COVID. Of course, as the government says and everyone says, social distancing of 6 feet, wearing mask, very important, and keeping your hands clean before you eat anything or touch your nose and anything, is these three are basic guidelines. Okay. Now the most important, there is no a particular immunity. Your immunity. Second and foremost is protein in your diet. Antibodies which fight infection and flu are made from protein intake of your diet. So your breakfast, lunch and dinner has to have a protein element. If you're vegetarian, make sure you have dahi or paneer or milk or dal or pulses for breakfast, lunch and dinner. If you're non-vegetarian, you have additional options of having eggs or chicken or meat or fish for breakfast, lunch and dinner. So these are very, 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 very important two things to take care of. Now, the third most important thing about this is the meal gap. Okay, between your two major meals, don't have more than 4 hour gap. If you have had your breakfast at 9, don't wait till 2 or 3 o'clock to have your meal. Again, that also brings your immunity down. So make sure your meal gaps are not more than 4 hours. In between, if you're hungry, don't have carby meal like between breakfast and lunch, or lunch and evening snacks, or evening snacks and dinner. You can go for a fruit or coconut water, buttermilk, tea, coffee, nuts and salad or soup. These can be your fillers, but make sure your two major meals don't have more than 4 hour gap. That's the third most important thing. Now, the fourth most important thing about fighting infection or supporting your immunity is making sure some amount of vitamin C comes in your diet. If you think it is not possible, taking a vitamin C pill is okay. Second important vitamin is, of course, vitamin D, which I have already spoken about. Check your vitamin D. If it is low, please supplement it. Third most important vitamin is zinc, which is found in nuts and seeds, and like pumpkin seeds and nuts like almond and meat, red meat especially. And then some amount of zinc is found in milk and eggs and avocado and some fruits like cherries. So all these foods have zinc. So it's very important to make sure, or you can take a vitamin C with zinc pill, which is also fine by me. So these are the basic vitamins. Now we talk about turmeric. Why Indians don't have to really worry about turmeric is because all our food is cooked in turmeric. If you're an egg eater, you can make an akuri by adding haldi to it. If you're making dal, make sure there is haldi in it. If you are having milk, you can always add a little bit haldi to it. So these are the ways Indians already have. On every vegetable we have haldi. So make sure you continue to include turmeric in your food. And if you still think you need to boost your immunity by taking more turmeric, you can of course take a pill. But I would prefer that you take it in the natural form from your food. That is the next food which is really being talked about in this time. But of course, you can take gargle every night before sleeping, and you can steam every day once in the morning. These are the two things you can additionally do to take care of yourself. And throughout the day, instead of taking too much of tea, coffee, you can of course go for warm water with lime and honey. That is also very, very good. So these are my takes for everyone for COVID time. And when you're steaming, you can of course use Vicks or eucalyptus oil to when you're steaming. That's also extremely healthy. These are my tips for everyone.
Great.
And
Very
of course,
useful.
there
Thank you.
is
Yeah.
even garlic. Now tell me, garlic is so regularly used in our food. It's like dals are made with garlic, vegetable pastes are made with garlic. So garlic usage is very, very good for people who like to use garlic in their cooking. Indian meals are practically having all these things. All spices have some benefits. So make sure that you're not having just salad. Make sure you're having Indian normally cooked meals and you're good to go.
Great. I'm sure a lot of people will be very reassured hearing that. Couple of interesting questions coming in. We have a question here from Isha on what should be the gap between lunch and dinner.
So between lunch and dinner is like you have evening snacks. So it cannot go more than 8 hours. If your lunch is at 1, then evening dinner cannot go beyond 9. Okay. So it is 8 hour gaps is good. But in between, you must have an evening snack to sustain yourself. So like a sandwich or some biscuits or kurmura, jawar pops or anything like nuts and fruits, not fruits only because fruit get digested. So nuts and fruit is a good combination. So that could in milk, anything like that in between breakfast and dinner, lunch and dinner. Yeah.
Great. We have another question here from Trisha. Which should be your heaviest meal? That's an interesting question. I know a lot of people wonder about
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, I believe that breakfast should always be heavier than evening snacks and lunch should always be heavier than dinner. That's how you maintain a very good, like 60% of your calories should be consumed by lunchtime. Then you have a superb metabolism, you never gain weight, you have very good energy. It's like, how you take a car out for a drive. You fill in the petrol at the beginning of the journey, not towards the end. Same way, when you are starting your day, make sure your breakfast and lunch is really good so that you have energy through the day and you're not hungry. I've seen people who miss their breakfast or miss the protein or miss the carbs for breakfast. They always end up cheating around 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or after dinner. Their hunger never gets satisfied. They keep eating. So that is why it's very important to eat a good breakfast. Breakfast is heavier than evening snacks. Lunch is heavier than dinner.
Great. We actually have a follow-up question from Trisha that we'll get to. Is it a fact or a myth that fruit should be avoided in the evening or night?
So the fruit is only one time avoidable, which is first thing in the morning. Every
Okay.
other time it is perfect to take. Why fruit should be avoided in the morning? Because I have seen the correlation of having fruits empty stomach with over a period of long time, people having lots of gas and acidity issues by having fruits first thing in the morning. Why? What fruits does? Because the fruit gets digested within 30 minutes. Okay, so what happens is, it's like, you are watering your plant with not a watering can, but you're using a hose pipe to water your plant. All your soil and all your good whatever you have put in the soil is just going to get washed away. So only what is left is plant. Same thing. What happens is, when you take first thing in the morning fruits, it goes through your digestive system within half an hour from your stomach, and within 1 to 2 hours from your whole digestive system. So of course you feel very light and you feel very good and you feel very energetic. But the end result, after 3 to 4 months of doing this, I've done it, trust me, I know what happened to me, is that you are going to have a very weak digestive system with very less bacteria, which helps you to digest and absorb food. So remember, guys, I have seen it myself, because I was a fruitarian a very long time ago, and fruit has caused so much of problem. Eating empty stomach fruit is that I had actually then wanted to know about nutrition. That's how I did my nutrition course and corrected all the systems in my body, and here I am today.
No, great. Very interesting. We have a couple of questions around the same thing. Varsha and Neetu have both asked, what is the last time to have fruits? So that was a very helpful
You
clarification
can
for
have it as a
everyone.
dessert. Yeah, but I would like everyone to consume fruits before 4. So like, the
Okay,
best time to have fruits is with breakfast. Then you can have it between breakfast and lunch. And the third best time to have fruits is between lunch and evening snacks if you're awake.
great. We have a question coming in. So a lot of questions coming in. But we have a question coming in here from the Mom Gyan account, asking if you have any recipes or any suggestions on infused water instead of herbal tea, which is very
Yes.
relevant given that it's summertime. Of course, a lot of people are sort of averse to having anything hot as well.
Yeah. So, summertime, very good to have infused water. You can, of course, like we were just thinking of putting out a mason jar and making a nice thing, and for everyone who comes into our house. So, you can put apple, you can put lime slices, you can put orange slices into your water, and that's how you can really infuse your water, and mint leaves. Mint leaves is great way, and so that water you can put. But because I exercise a lot, my drink to go in the summer is your age old shikanji or nimbu pani with little sugar and salt is what I love to take. You can always infuse your water with little honey too.
Great, I'm definitely going to try that. Um, so lots of comments, lots of questions coming in. We have one here from Aneri on, other than milk and milk products, can you please recommend any other sources of protein for vegetarians?
Sorry, first class protein is only milk. I'm so sorry, Aneri. Because what is first class protein is where all the essential amino acids are present, and which is comes from animal source. So for vegetarian, milk is the only allowed proteins animal source which is given to them. So it's either paneer or curd or milk itself. Then the only other option is pulses. Pulses like dal or moong or chole, rajma, soybean, soy milk, nuggets, soy nuggets. These are the only options of protein, or take protein powder. So why the pulses are not very good source of protein is because pulses are also very high in carbohydrate. And when they combine with, like, idli with sambar or chola with paratha, or like dal with rice, then they become a good quality protein. That is why it is dal. So that is why it's very, very important to combine the carbs with the pulses to bring it the good quality of protein. So if you can digest milk protein, if you're not lactose intolerant, go ahead, and you get very good quality milk these days. So you can, of course, go for only pulses also. We have made vegan diets for people where we have given them moong in the morning, dal for lunch, and dal for dinner, and it has sufficed them with maybe some infused pea protein powder.
Interesting. So just follow up to that, we have a question here from Kirti. Can we have a bowl of soybean or soy products on regular basis in our diet? Does it affect our hormonal balance?
So
Nice.
something about soy is that every body is not made for soybean. You need to check whether you're not getting gas or bloating because of this. But having around 35 grams of raw soy, which converts into around, say, 50 grams of tofu, or 200 to 200, 300 ml of soy milk is perfect to take on a daily basis if you're not suffering from thyroid.
Great. And here one. So there was actually a question on tofu as well that you've sort of covered. We have a question, another question from Varsha, and I know she asked this again. Sorry, Varsha, for earlier. She's asking if there are any concoctions or any sort of recommendations you have for people who suffer from asthma.
Sorry, I didn't get it. She's something concoction for asthma.
Yeah, anyone, any sort of recommendations?
Yeah. So asthma, as we have studied, is in that they have to avoid certain food to take. One is they should avoid taking yogurt for dinner, which sort of troubles them. Secondly, nuts also they are allergic, so you should avoid certain food for asthma. But taking coffee really helps asthmatics to, and having enough calcium and magnesium in their diet is very important. So a glass of milk is very good for them, and they can also make sure that their vitamin D levels are good, and they have to make sure that they if the asthma is really troubling them, they should do a allergy test to find out what food they're allergic to, and help them to remove those food from their diet to not to get an attack. Yeah.
Great. And so we're just going to quickly take one last question, just because I know
One thing I forgot.
Yeah. Yes.
The asthmatic really benefit from one powder called Shitopladi. I don't know if Dr. Vaidya makes it or not.
No, we don't have.
So yeah. Shitopladi Churan. I'm sure you must be having some product for asthma. You can also
we
tell
do,
everyone.
And we'll I'll send the link later to the people.
So Shitopladi Churan, first thing in the morning, empty stomach with 2 teaspoons of honey, somehow helps asthmatics. Followed by a cup of hot milk.
Okay. So one last question before we end. So we have a question from Jaya saying, hi, and this is actually, my previous session was also on this topic, and we get a lot of inquiries about this, but so she says, hi, I have thyroid and PCOD. What food should I avoid?
So thyroid and PCOD is of course an hormonal imbalance. So to control this problem, first of all, you need to do your blood test, meet an endocrinologist, and get your diet sorted. So suppose if in one of the hormones it is thyroid, which is on a higher side, then you need to avoid soy products and bajra, and make sure your thyroid TSH levels are less than 2.5. And so that is one thing. But apple cider vinegar really helps to those people. Secondly, if your prolactin levels are high, because PCOD, that is another hormone which goes haywire, then take less milk protein, which is not more than 200, and make sure your meals are balanced, as I mentioned, with protein, fats, carbs. And if I eat a piece of dessert, I may gain 50 grams, but PCOD girls, if they eat a dessert, they gain double the amount of weight. So you need to be very careful about not taking dessert, ice cream, cold drink, chocolates, fried, papad, and too much of potatoes. So basically food which are high in glycemic index, you must control. And if your insulin levels are high, which also goes off in PCOD, then you have to make sure that you get treated medically for the same. And of course, make sure you exercise every day. And thirdly, keep your diet low in glycemic index.
Great. Thank you so much. Sorry, I have a lot more questions coming in. Sorry, guys, we're not able to take everything, but it's good to know there's so much interest.
Please, they can always ask questions to me in either on my handle, SelfCare by Suman, or my direct handle, Suman Agarwal. I answer all of them.
Great. Thank you so much. Varsha, this video will be saved. We'll be posting it on IGTV at the Heal at Home series in the Dr. Vaidya's account. Suman, I'll share this video with you as well so you can use it.
Please. Thank you so much, Mishaal.
People, thank you so much for doing this. It was a pleasure to have you on. And we can clearly see so many people benefiting from this session as well.
So thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Hi guys, my name is Arjun Vaidya and I'm the CEO of Dr. Vaidya's. I hope you like what you heard. If you want more content on health and Ayurveda in the 21st century, please click the subscribe icon. We've got a lot more coming for you.